Hey Jack, have you heard of the future perfect tense in English?
No, I haven't. What is it?
It's a tense that we use to talk about actions that will be completed at a specific time in the future. For example, by this time next year, I will have finished my studies.
Oh, I see. Can you give me some more examples?
Sure. Here are a few more. By the time you get home, I will have already cooked dinner. When we arrive at the airport, our flight will have already left. By the end of the week, I will have read the entire book.
Thanks for the examples, Emma. How do we form the future perfect tense?
We form the tense by using will have, followed by the past participle of the main verb. For example, I will have studied, or you will have finished.
That seems pretty straightforward. Is there anything else I need to know about the future perfect tense?
Well, one thing to keep in mind is that we usually use the tense when we want to emphasize the completion of an action by a specific time in the future. So it's often used with time expressions like by this time, by the end of, or when.
Got it. Thanks for the explanation, Emma. Can we practice using the future perfect tense?
Absolutely. How about we make some sentences using the tense together?
Sounds like a good idea. Let me think. By this time next year, I will have graduated from university.
Great! Here's one from me. By the time we arrive at the party, everyone will have already left.
Okay, I'll try another one. When I finish this course, I will have learned a lot about English grammar.
Nice! Let me think. By the end of the day, I will have completed all of my work tasks.
These examples are helpful. I think I'm starting to get the hang of the future perfect tense.
That's great to hear, Jack. Keep practicing and you'll become even more comfortable using it.
Thanks, Emma. I appreciate your help.
Anytime, Jack. Let me know if you have any other questions. Hey Mark, I was wondering if you know any other ways we can use the future perfect tense besides just talking about completed actions in the future.
Sure thing, Sarah. There are a few other ways we can use it. For example, we can use it to emphasize the duration of an action before a specific future time.
Oh, I see. Can you give me an example?
Sure. By the time I've been living in New York for 3 years, I will have learned a lot about the city.
That makes sense. Can you give me another example?
Sure, how about this? By the time we finish the project, we will have been working on it for 6 months.
Okay, I think I understand that usage. What about the consequence usage you mentioned earlier?
Ah, yes. We can also use the future perfect tense to describe a future event that will have a result or consequence. For example, when she sees the mess we've made, she will have a fit.
I see. That sounds like it could be useful. Can you give me one more example of that usage?
Sure. After I finish my workout, I will have burned enough calories to enjoy a big meal.
Great examples, Mark. But how is the future perfect tense different from other future tenses?
Good question. The future perfect tense is different because it emphasizes the completion of an action before a specific future time. Other future tenses, like the future simple or the future continuous, focus more on the action itself.
That's helpful to know. Can you give me an example of the future perfect tense versus the future simple tense?
Sure. By the time you get here, I will have made dinner. Is future perfect. I will make dinner when you get here. Is future simple.
Oh, I see the difference now. Thanks for the examples, Mark.
No problem, Sarah. Do you want to practice using the future perfect tense a bit more?
Definitely. How about we try making some sentences using all of the different usages we talked about?
Sounds good. I'll start. By the time I graduate, I will have been studying for 4 years, and I will have a great job waiting for me.
Nice one. Here's mine. When I finish writing this book, I will have accomplished my lifelong dream and can't wait to see the reaction it gets.
Great sentence, Sarah. Here's another one from me. By the time we leave for our vacation, we will have saved enough money so we can enjoy all the activities we want to do.
I like that one a lot. Let me think. After I finish my presentation, I will have proven to my boss that I'm ready for a promotion.
Awesome sentence, Sarah. It looks like you're really getting the hang of using the future perfect tense.
Thanks, Mark. You've been a great help.
Anytime, Sarah. I'm always happy to help you improve your English. Hey Rachel, do you want to practice using the future perfect tense with me?
Sure, that sounds like a good idea. How do you want to start?
Let's start with some drills and exercises for forming future perfect sentences. I'll give you a sentence with the verb in the infinitive form, and you turn it into a future perfect sentence.
Okay, that sounds like a good place to start.
Great! Here's the first one. To finish the book.
By the time I finish the book, I will have gained new knowledge.
Nice job, Rachel. Here's another one. To study for the exam.
By the time I take the exam, I will have studied for 2 weeks.
Excellent. Now, let's practice using the future perfect in conversation and writing. Can you think of a conversation topic we can use?
How about talking about our plans for next year?
Perfect. You start.
By this time next year, I will have completed my master's degree.
Wow, that's impressive. By then, I will have been working at my new job for 6 months.
That's great to hear. By that time, I will have also saved enough money to take a trip to Europe.
Sounds like an amazing plan. By that time, I will have learned enough French to get around.
That's a great goal. By then, I will have also improved my Spanish by taking classes.
Great plan. It's good to set goals and work towards them using the future perfect tense.
Definitely. Now, let's move on to analyzing and interpreting future perfect usage in authentic language materials, such as news articles, stories, and films.
Sounds good. Do you have any examples to start with?
Yes, I read an article the other day about a company that plans to launch a new product next year. They said, by the time the product is released, we will have conducted extensive market research to ensure its success.
That's a great example. It shows how the future perfect tense can be used to emphasize the completion of an action before a specific future time.
Exactly. It also shows how the tense can be used to express confidence in a future event.
Yes, and that's a common usage of the future perfect tense in business and marketing.
Right. And in movies or stories, the future perfect tense can be used to create suspense or anticipation for future events.
That's true. It can be used to hint at a future outcome or consequence.
Exactly. And analyzing the usage of the future perfect tense in authentic materials is a great way to improve our understanding and application of the tense.
Absolutely. It's important to practice using the tense in different contexts and situations to really master it.
Definitely. And by practicing with drills, conversations, and analyzing authentic materials, we can become more confident and skilled in using the future perfect tense.
That's a great way to sum it up. Thanks for practicing with me, Rachel. You're getting better and better at using the future perfect tense.
Thanks, Tom. You're a great practice partner.
Hello, Sarah. Today, we will talk about common errors and challenges that people face while using the future perfect tense. Are you ready to learn?
Yes, I am excited to learn more about it.
Great! Let's start with identifying common errors and misconceptions in using the future perfect tense. One common mistake people make is using the present participle instead of the past participle. For example, instead of saying, "By next month, I will have finished my project," they say, "By next month, I will be finishing my project." Can you identify the mistake in this sentence?
Yes, they used the present participle, finishing, instead of the past participle, finished.
Excellent. Another common mistake is using will be instead of will have. For example, instead of saying, "By next year, I will have saved enough money to buy a car," they say, "By next year, I will be saving enough money to buy a car." Can you tell me what's wrong with this sentence?
Yes, they used will be saving instead of will have saved.
Very good, Sarah. Now let's talk about some of the challenges that people face while using the future perfect tense. One of the biggest challenges is irregular past participles. Some verbs have irregular past participles that do not end in ed, such as eat, write, and break. This can make it difficult to form future perfect sentences correctly. Do you have any questions about this?
Yes, how can we remember all the irregular past participles?
That's a great question. One way is to practice them regularly. You can make a list of the most common irregular past participles and memorize them. You can also use flashcards or practice exercises to help you remember them.
Okay, I will try that.
Another challenge is word order. In a future perfect sentence, will have always comes before the past participle. For example, by next week, I will have finished my homework. If you change the order of the words, the sentence becomes incorrect. Can you think of an example?
By next week, I have will finished my homework. Is incorrect.
Perfect, Sarah. Now let's talk about strategies for improving accuracy and fluency in using the future perfect tense. One strategy is to read and listen to authentic materials that use the tense. You can read news articles, stories, and books that use the future perfect tense to help you become more familiar with it. You can also practice speaking and writing in the future perfect tense to improve your accuracy and fluency.
Okay, I will try that. Thank you, teacher.
You're welcome, Sarah. Keep practicing, and you will become more confident in using the future perfect tense.